Your LinkedIn profile is like your personal business card, pitch deck, sales page, and CV all in one. Safe to say, if you're looking to build your personal brand or improve your reputation online, your LinkedIn profile is a vital piece of digital real estate. But most people's profiles haven't been changed since 2015, or they're not utilizing all of the available features that LinkedIn offers. And that means you're wasting opportunities that are probably going to your competitors who maybe aren't even as good as you. I see so many potentially amazing personal brands damaged by poor profile pictures, weakly written bios, and fully unoptimized profiles. So in this video, I'll show you how to create a standout LinkedIn profile that encourages visitors to follow you, turns connections into clients, and screams credibility so that you can finally get the opportunities you deserve. And why should you listen to me? Well, over the last 5 years, I've built up my own following to over 55,000 people. In the process, I've generated $3 million from the platform, and I've actually helped over 250 other people do the same. So I've put the reps in when it comes to building LinkedIn accounts, and in this video, I'm going to show you everything I know about optimizing your profile. So let's jump in. I'm going to show you all of the essential features of the profile. There's a few things we're going to cover. We're going to cover basic profile settings, your profile picture and cover photo, your tagline, which is one of the most underutilized parts of the profile, but the most important, how to ensure your key information is up to date, optimizing your featured section and your about section to generate the maximum number of leads possible from LinkedIn, and how to optimize your experience and education to cement your credibility. First thing we're going to look at is your basic profile settings. Now, one thing you want to do instantly is, you can't see it on my profile here because I'm on my own profile, but if you were on my profile right now, you would see the button says follow. It doesn't give you the option to connect with me. You can connect with me, but it takes an extra step. The default option is for you to follow me. And the reason you want to do that is because you're actually limited to 30,000 connections on LinkedIn, but you have an unlimited number of people that can follow you. So you want to save those connection slots for people that you actively want to connect with, or you want to have a little bit more discretion about who you can actually connect with and who you accept or reject. But you don't want to put people off connecting with you, so you set that button to follow, and people are automatically going to follow you. That means they see your content, but you don't follow them, and it doesn't count as one of those 30,000 connections. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the button here says follow, not connect. You also want to make sure that your URL is fully optimized for SEO purposes. Now, when you set up your LinkedIn account, LinkedIn will give you a random string of characters after your username in your URL. So you can see my public profile URL is over here. At the start, this typically would have said something like Sam G. Winsbury, and then there'd be this stream of characters after it. By clicking this pencil in the top right here, you can actually personalize that URL and change it to just your name. This is simply going to help with SEO purposes. When people Google your name, your LinkedIn profile is more likely to rank higher. It's a small detail, but it can have a big impact. The next thing you'll want to do is make sure that all of your contact details are up to date and your profile is fully discoverable. This just ensures that you're not losing opportunities from people that have either tried to reach you through maybe an outdated email, or they simply can't find your profile at all because it's not visible enough. Now, what you can do is you can actually click this button. I'm going to give you this guide. If you just comment profile in the comments, I'm actually going to send you this guide, and you can click this button here and it will take you straight to the page where you can do this. And what I mean by making sure your profile is visible is ensuring that all of these settings down here are set to show. Now, this is personal preference, truthfully, because this is your privacy and your details, but personally, I'm building my personal brand in public, and I want as many people as possible to learn these sorts of things about me. To be honest, there's nothing really sensitive in here. The only thing that I do hide is my email address, because I don't want random people to find it easily. And there's a really simple way to make sure that you're as visible as possible. You just make sure that all of your profile's public visibility is set to on, and make sure that everything here is set to show, and set it to public. This means that anyone on or off LinkedIn can see this information. They don't necessarily have to have a LinkedIn account or be connected with you, which some people have in their settings. That just limits the number of people that can find out more about what you do. I don't know why you would want to do that. And if you do those things, your main profile settings will be better than most people's, and you're already off to a great start. If you missed all of this, then everything else we do could go to waste. So your summary checklist is to make sure your connect button is actually set to follow. So it says follow, not connect. Personalize URL. Ensure your contact details are up to date, and ensure your profile is fully visible and discoverable in the edit your public profile settings. Once you've done that, you can move on to the main header section of the profile. Now, this arguably is the most important part of the profile, because when people land on it, it is the first thing they see. And you can see it's very eye-catching. It's a very important piece of visual real estate that you need to make the most of. Quite frankly, if you don't maximize the return, don't capture interest and get people engaged in your profile at this point, they will not read anything else. So the rest of your profile is completely pointless if you don't nail the first key things in this header section. One of them is your profile picture. Now, truthfully, you can't really overthink this. You just want to make sure sure you have a really clear, high quality headshot that reflects the kind of image you're looking to portray. If you have something like a picture of you on stage or speaking at an event, that is particularly authoritative and it signals an instant sense of credibility because you're seen as worth speaking on stage. That instantly gives you a bit of authority. So you want to make sure it's high quality. If you do have something that's on stage or shows some element of credibility or shows you being interviewed, then that's great as well. You can also use this tool here, PFP Maker, if you want to add a colored background to your profile picture, but really you don't need to overthink this. Just make sure it's a clear, high quality headshot that reflects the image you want to portray. What's actually more important than the profile picture is the cover photo. Now the cover photo takes up so much space in this header section, and it is probably the most underutilized part of the profile. Most people in this section have one of three things. They either have a blank cover photo and it gives you the default option that LinkedIn has. They have a cover photo that is just their company logo and a bit of company branding, or they have a stock image that doesn't really have anything to do with what they do. And all three of these things are massive mistakes that could be holding your personal brand back. If you look at my cover photo here, you can see there's so much information and so much credibility that comes across in the cover photo. Actually, this is a key point because it's so visual to really capture attention and show people our credibility and show people our value proposition. So in your cover photo, you want to make sure you have high quality on-brand images, but then you really want to ensure you show your value proposition and your credibility. There's some more great examples of this here, of people that have a really clear, simple and compelling value proposition, like sales technology that scales revenue, get more confidence, clarity and consistency on LinkedIn, and the operating system for LinkedIn creators. All of these tell you exactly what these people do. So there's a clear value proposition. A lot of them also have credibility. If you take Lara and Justin Welsh here, they have logos of some of the places that they've been featured, and that suggests a sense of authority. It shows that they're worth interviewing, and you get the sense that these people are highly credible individuals. If you look at mine, I actually have a few things in this section. I, of course, have the headshot, I have the company logo, but I also have a really clear and compelling value proposition. So anyone that comes onto my profile, if they're an entrepreneur and they want to build their personal brand, they now know that this is for them. They know that I can help them straight away on the profile, and that's a really important thing for people to understand as soon as they come across you. But they also know I'm credible because they can see things like some of the places I've been featured, some of the clients that we've worked with, and there's also a little tag here that says join 42,000 people that actually needs updating, following me for daily advice. And do you think if 42,000 other people, or even 55,000 people now do something, it might be a sensible thing to do? Well, probably yes. So the fact that 42,000 other people are following me compels them to follow me as well. So having credibility and a value proposition in your cover photo is the number one way to build authority and credibility early on in the profile, and the most missed part of the profile I see across most people. The second most underutilized part of the profile is the tagline. Now, what do most people do in the tagline, which is this section here? Well, they have their job role and their company. It always says job role at company, CEO at brand. That is a massively missed opportunity to convert content viewers into profile visitors, where you can then convert them into clients. If I come into my feed very quickly, you'll notice something. You'll notice that the only thing that shows up with a piece of content is the person's profile picture, their name, and their tagline. So your tagline is an essential part of the profile. It's the only part of the profile you've got alongside your name and profile picture to get someone to click from your content onto your profile. Now, unless you're already famous, your name and profile picture are not going to be enough to do that. So your tagline is an essential tool to get people to click from your content onto the profile. And there are two things that you want to ensure you include here. Number one is the value proposition, again, articulated slightly differently to in your cover photo. If you have them exactly the same, then it's a missed opportunity to get variation in messaging that's, you want the messaging to be aligned, of course, but slight variation that might appeal to slightly different people. So you can see that here. I have we create thought leaders through personal branding. Really clear, simple value proposition, shows people what I actually do for them. But my opinion, more importantly than this, is credibility. So one thing I have here is 250 plus personal brands built. Firstly, that gives a sense that I build personal brands anyway, so there's part of the value proposition in there. But also there's a huge amount of credibility that comes with that. If you've done something 250 times, you're probably quite good at it. Maybe people should listen to me for advice on that specific topic. And if they want to build their personal brands, it suggests I'd probably be a good profile to check out. I also, again, have some of the places we've been featured. I do have the job role, but it's not the main part of the tagline. The most important part of the tagline is this section here. You'll also notice if we go back into the feed that only the start of the tagline shows. So you want to have the most important information in this first section here, because the rest of it is going to get cut off. So you need to make sure you get that either value proposition or that point of credibility early on in the tagline to get people to click from your content onto the profile in the first place. And I've actually got 11 tagline templates that you can use for inspiration. You can straight up copy one of these and use the exact structure, or you can use some of them for inspiration if you want. Again, if you want to get access to this full guide, just comment profile in the comments and I will send you a link to this full guide. The final part of the header section that you want to optimize is your website link. Now, again, this is a great opportunity to convert interested profile viewers into leads for your business, but another part of the profile that everybody seems to be missing out on. If you look at my profile here, you'll notice that I have this link that says test your personal brand score. This takes you to a lead magnet that we've created, which is essentially a scorecard for measuring the strength of your personal brand. So we've created an assessment. You answer a set of 30 questions, and our system spits out a score for your personal brand, or how strong your personal brand is, and it gives tailored advice based on the result that you've got. That is a really important lead magnet for us. So I want as many people as possible to go through that lead magnet. That's why it's linked right at the top of my header section, so that I get as many people, as soon as they land on the profile and they're interested in what we do, to click that link as we possibly can. Most people will send this to their website maybe, or they might try and send people directly to book a call. Both of those are poor decisions, because sending people to your website is probably not the best place to actually convert them, and booking people straight onto a call, they're probably not quite ready to actually book a meeting with you yet. So you want to have some sort of lead magnet that sits in between those two things to nurture them into clients, customers, or appointments in your calendar first. And that's why I have a really important lead magnet here. This is actually our highest converting lead magnet, which is why it's the main one that I have in this header section. You can also tailor the text that goes over this link. So when you paste the link in, it will show just as the link itself, but you can actually customize the text here. And using something like test your personal brand score creates a sense of curiosity. People want to find out what that means, what their personal brand score is, so they're compelled to click that link. A lot of people here will just say, check out our website, which is pretty mundane, right? If I wanted to check out your website, I would have just Googled your company. So have something in there that compels people to actually click that link and creates a sense of curiosity around it. And once you've done those three things, you'll have a really strong header section that is actually better than most people's, and you've already got a profile that's going to be beating all of your competitors. But now we can start to take it to the next level, and we can really add in elements of conversion in here. One opportunity you have to do that is in your featured section. Now, your featured section should include links to all of your most important digital assets. So that could be your website, but it also could be high-performing content. It could be press features. And if you're looking to generate leads off the back of your profile, I suggest you include some lead magnets or even low-ticket products in there as well. Now, you can have unlimited items in your featured section, but you'll notice only the top three, the first three in the rankings, actually preview. People have to scroll to find out the others. So you want to make sure these first three are the most important ones, your most important links. What I've opted for is 2 lead magnets and a digital product. So we have each lead magnet here. One is an ultimate guide to building a personal brand. One is a personal brand thought leadership study that we ran, which has a lot of data on personal branding. The reason I've selected these two is because they appeal to the 2 slightly different types of leads we get. Some of our clients are slightly more considered, slightly more, mature. They're probably enterprise type clients, and they're more interested in reading about studies and reports and data. Other people want the blueprint, and they want to see that we really know our stuff, and they want to get a bit of results first with our free content before actually buying from us, and those people would download this ultimate guide, which is a practical guide. I then have our low ticket product, which is a training program, which is pretty accessible for people to join. It's the kind of thing that you don't necessarily need a sales call to convert people for, and the idea is once people join that, they get results from it, and we can convert them into even higher paying clients in the future because they're so happy with the amazing work that we've delivered and the results that they've got from the program. So these 3 are all ways to get people into our ecosystem, either as leads or as low ticket customers, so that we can then nurture both of those people into high ticket clients. So ensuring you've got your most important links in these 3 places is essential for converting interested profile visitors into leads. If you're not necessarily looking to generate leads, you can have things like your website, or you could have high-performing content or your most important piece of content in here that give people the best sense as to what you do and what you're about and who you are from the featured section. You can choose 5 to 10 of these. I've done the hard work for you and given you a list of things that you can choose from. So just select any of those, choose 5 to 10, but make sure that the top 3 are the most important ones that you want people to see first. Now, the about section. This is where most people write it all wrong. Most people treat this like a third-person bio, and it just reads terribly. They're pretty uninteresting. They're either really short or they're just self-obsessed, and most people just get the about section completely wrong. Actually, what you want to do with the about section is you want to treat it more like a sales letter. Okay? Especially if you're looking to generate leads, this is a great opportunity to convert people. And you've now earned the right almost to tell people a lot more about the business. They're certainly interested in what you do at this stage. If they've got down to the about section and they're reading the about section, they're definitely interested in what you do to some extent. So you've got the opportunity here to tell them a lot more about that. And the way I've structured mine is as a sales letter. So I start off with our value proposition, but then I actually talk about the problem that our clients are experiencing. So I'm instantly creating this gap between where they are now and where they want to be. And I actually future pace a little bit. So I say some of the things that they could achieve if they get their personal brand right. Again, this is stretching that gap between where they are now and where they want to be. I explain very briefly, top line, how we actually help our clients do that. So I'm positioning us as the bridge between their problem and their desired goal. And then I share some proof that we've done this before. I share some testimonials and case studies of results that we've achieved for our previous clients before having a very specific call to action. Now, this is actually the only place on the internet, anywhere, that I use this call to action. It says, if you want to see how we could help you build your personal brand, shoot me a DM saying personal brand. So people are actually DMing me saying the words personal brand. And I know if they DM me those words, they have read my about section, they've come through the profile. That is the only place that I will use that exact call to action. So I can see exactly how many people are actually coming through the about section specifically. Worth noting, whilst we're here actually on this point, you can use things like UTMs or trackable links to test how many people are actually clicking links in your header section or your featured section. We have UTMs and trackable links across the entire team. So we know anytime a lead comes in from my profile, from one of the team's profiles, from the company page on LinkedIn, we can actually track that back to the source. And if it's come from the team's profiles, we can reward them with maybe commission on those clients that have come through, or we can just refine our marketing process based on what's working best and what's not working so well. So you can use trackable links and UTMs across the rest of your profile, but in your about section, I recommend having a very specific call to action where it's the only place that you would use that one, and you can see exactly how many people have come through that. And if you write your about section like a sales letter, you're going to be convincing connections to become clients whilst you sleep. The about section is an essential conversion tool that most people miss. Now, the final few things we've got to optimize are our experience section and our education section. Now, truthfully, these actually matter a lot less. People don't tend to consume loads of the experience section and the about and the education section. You just want to make sure that they're up to date, they're accurate. You really can't overthink this. What I like to do is I like to firstly make sure that every piece of experience is linked back to the company page. I see a lot of people where they haven't actually linked it to the company page of the brand where they worked or of their own company page. So just make sure it's linked back to the actual company page. That means that when people click through it, if they're interested in the company, they can actually check out the company page. It ensures the logo previews as well. I include a one-liner about what we actually do at each company that I run. So again, this can be another formulation of your value proposition, and then link to a key place on the website that I want these people to go to. So really, really simple experience section, and the education section, you just want to make sure it's up to date. You can't really overthink these things. And once you've done that, you're going to have a really engaging, high quality profile that nurtures viewers into followers and into interested leads whilst you sleep. The next step simply is just to produce content that gets your profile in front of hundreds of thousands of people every single month. And guys, if you want this exact guide that takes you through the entire process step by step, just comment profile down below and I will send you a copy of this guide so that you can use it to optimize your profile end to end in less than 30 minutes. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as there's a lot more content like this coming very soon. And it shows me that this sort of content was useful and engaging, and I should produce more like this in the future. I'll see you in the next one.